the biggest learnings that we've gotten are shaking hands with customers and them being open and transparent with their questions. So I'm just curious, what were some of the things that you kind of learned early on during that sampling process last summer?
Not to have a tallowy tasting potato chip, like one that has tallow residue on the mouth, which is solved by some of the things that Miles came up with, some of the things that we do in production. And before I answer that question in its entirety, I think what you're talking about is that, people don't necessarily want to buy more products. They want to, be part of stories like you're talking about, opening the hood. Or people don't want, they just want solutions to their problems or distractions from their problems if they're not going to find solutions. So the story could be a distraction from their problem that eventually leads to them, finding more within themselves or being inspired to make a change. And then your product offers something that could make a change. So as the three of us as founders, I think it's imperative that we distill that down to your audience, is that people don't buy more people don't want to buy more products. They want to buy stories, which are solutions to their problems or distractions for their problems, and hopefully those distractions lead to aspiration and inspiration. From a dose perspective, like I said, don't have a tallowy residue potato chip. Like, it should be clean. It should be crisp. It should be satiating and salty. And then I don't know what percentage, your audience isn't fair because you're called the meat mafia. But I don't know what percentage of middle America or the fringes of our country know what tallow is. I mean, maybe the fringes, definitely the fringes, because they're farmers. But those that have in the suburbs who have a 9-to-5, who wake up, have a coffee, go to work, take their children to school, come home, go to the grocery store, feed microwave meals or pre-prepped whatever, like what percentage of them, very little, know what tallow is. So just as Noble offers an opportunity to explain what nose to tail is, and it's a challenge, like how do I get somebody to buy something in a 20-second digital ad or a 20-minute video long form, which offers more value. We are learning daily how many people don't know what tallow is. So how do you create something education driven, that's entertaining, that offers value to the audience member that may become a consumer of your product? We've heard the adage thousands of times. McDonald's used to fry their potatoes in tallow to make the world's greatest French fry. So you can start there with like, hey, the place that we all eat or all have eaten at in this world, the thing that we all share is that we all had McDonald's. Like, they used to fry in tallow, which is a good starting point. But I don't know that that's where we want to start. Where we want to start is that tallow has a temperature that allows you to fry things in it without it completely degrading the product and becoming something unhealthy. Potatoes are a food that come from the earth. When sliced and fried in tallow and salted, they taste amazing.
It's so exciting for us just seeing all these tallow products, including Dose, just come to the market, because I remember not too long ago, like 2 years ago, we were writing about tallow and how McDonald's used to use tallow in their French fries or in their fryers to make their French fries, and how they used to taste better, and actually, they used to be like somewhat healthy.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. I think like there's just a handful of brands that are just getting started who are kind of pioneering in the space. Just seeing them come to market and people being curious enough to either try the product or try to go a layer further and understand what the actual benefits are of tallow. Do you remember the first time you had tallow?
It had to be some time ago. I'm a Texan, and both my parents, my father's a Texan. My mother came here when she was very young. So it had to have been some time ago. My food journey, it's so funny to call it a food journey. But my food journey has always been on the side of like seeking out what's local. I lived in different parts of the world and still ate locally. So I can remember the first time I bought tallow in Texas, which was from Sam at his market, where he had just come out with these little jars. And this is back when Sam used to run his own, stand at downtown farmers market. And he'd be like, Mills, we had a relationship. I bought eggs there. I bought ground beef there. I bought marrow bones there. I have packaged my tallow. Would you like to try it? And he gave me sampled one, complimentary. And I took it home and probably changed the mundane things I was eating by using tallow. It wasn't enough tallow to fry chicken, but I was like, I could fry some chicken in this, like we love fried chicken, really. Yeah. So I hope we can make that connection with an audience and give them that feeling of like, oh, this is my first time to try tallow. It's amazing. I want to do so many things with tallow. And another piece of our campaign for launch is like at local pastures, we fry potatoes in tallow. We fry potatoes in, the other thing. And we're like, hey, just passerby, like local pastures probably isn't fair because everybody's going to choose tallow, but a little unfair advantage is okay sometimes. And which one tastes better? And people are like, oh, the tallow chip. I'm like, here, have a bag of dose, And then maybe they go inside and buy more tallow and go home and make some fried chicken for some people. I think I keep at least mentioning fried chicken. Fried chicken and tallow is a great thing.
Yeah.
Daidue's fried chicken is unbelievable.
Yeah, except for they changed it Sunday to quail. So it's fried
It's
quail.
tiny. It's good, but it's so tiny. I had to order 2 of them. I went like 2 weeks ago. I had to order 2 quails because I'm like, this is tiny.
Yeah.
But it's delicious. But you bring up a good point where it's interesting how we just equate certain foods as being unhealthy. So fried chicken, ice cream, potato chips,
Yeah.
the list goes on. But it's like the preparation either makes the poison or the antidote of the food.
Amazing.
And
Well
it's just such an interesting concept to think about. I had something I was going to say and it literally just slipped my mind right now.
That's okay. I think bringing up what you mentioned around like the prep of food, tallow specifically is not just something to make potatoes in. Like we're saying, there's plenty of use cases for it. I'm not the expert whatsoever on all the different use cases for tallow, but we know from masa that it can make delicious corn chips that becomes a scalable, profitable business. We know from the tallow twins that it becomes beautiful skincare that can reduce eczema or acne. And then we will know from Dose very soon that it can make an exceptional potato chip. So I think that what you mentioned, both of you have mentioned, is like, oh, we've been on the scene for 2 years, and now we're starting to see things in tallow. Well, imagine all the other things that we're going to see in tallow from a restaurant perspective, product perspective, skincare perspective, gut microbiome perspective. A competitor to seed from a what's it called, the daily things for your gut. Probiotic, like all the different things we're going to see because people were brave enough to go try to make it to the top of the mountain of the tallow mountain and maybe not make it all the way, but set the pace, walk so others could run, so that the world can become a place that consumes healthy amounts of tallow.
Yeah, you guys made a good point earlier about McDonald's too, because if you talk to a baby boomer that grew up on McDonald's, they might not know anything about the nutritional benefits of beef tallow versus seed oil, but they can recall, oh my gosh, McDonald's French fries in 1987 were so good.
Yeah.
But then they change in 1990. What happened? They don't know anything about the nutrition, but they remember the taste. So it's like if you're solving for taste, I think you could kind of win over those people in middle America that don't know about the nutritional benefits too.
Totally, and boomers are the hardest, right? Like,
Yes.
One of my favorite subreddits is like...
Is it boomers are the hardest?
No, it's like it's a bit degrading. So it's something about boomers, but yeah, I mean that represents an opportunity to connect with them. In that McDonald's used to be something that a lot more people. I mean, a lot of people still consume it. I don't know the numbers, and I don't care, but a lot more people used to consume McDonald's regularly, and they do have an association with a better tasting French fry because. I don't know how long it's been I don't know how long it's been since you guys had McDonald's, but definitely since I was a child, I've not had McDonald's. So I don't remember how the French fries taste, but like the people that are the age of the boomers certainly do, and they have an association with that. So if you could capture that essence and deliver it in something new, like we talked about, familiar and new, then I think you have an opportunity, like you said, to connect with hopefully a bigger a bigger market size than those currently interested in tallow or nose to tail supplements, protein powder.